This at 1 p.m. it's a nightmare. It's already quite stuffy here. But yeah, if you have been inside at least one souvenir shop in Riga, you have seen something with black cats. Because black cat, it's like an unofficial symbol of the city. And there's the building on top, you can see the lovely animal. The story is quite simple. The first Latvian rich guy, he was getting quite wealthy by trading. And at some moment he wanted to join German's Traders Guild, which is this building right here. And returning to the question about that, different guilds. This was the big guild for the traders, whereas this tower, that was the small guild for the craftsmen. Yeah? But in this case, this Latvian wanted to join the German Traders Guild, and when he went there, he was like, I'm trader, you are traders, I'm wealthy, you are wealthy, could I join, like pretty please? Well, the answer obviously was 9, go away you dirty Latvian peasant. So when he was rejected from the guild, he ordered this building to be built. And in the first year, the cat on top was facing another direction. So the tail, and that's what under the tail, is focused in the German windows, which is a little bit offensive even by modern standards. So the solution was that they made him honor member of the guild, and then he turned the cat. Cool story, right? Absolute BS. This is fully invented story. Because this is the biggest urban legend of the city. You know, every city has this one legend, which is told to every tourist. This story is so big, it's in every tour book. It's all around the internet. And I believe some of you knew this story before I started the story. So let's talk about the harsh reality. The building is built in 1909 in the style of Art Nouveau. And as I said, we are quite famous about our Art Nouveau collection. We have more than 800 buildings in this style. Why so? Because the city was extremely rich at the Art Nouveau era. So late 1800s and early 1900s. Because when you travel Europe, where there is the most Art Nouveau buildings? In all trading hubs. Porto, Barcelona, Riga, Brussels, Paris, St. Petersburg. So all of those cities where there was a lot of money going through in the turning point of centuries. So this is rich people architecture, or it's bourgeoisie architecture. And that's why Art Nouveau is one of the styles where sculptures are turning from symbolism just into decorations. Because you know, wealthy people, they are the same in every century. Today or in 1909. If there is a wealthy middle class, they will flex. They will show that they are like the richest kids on the block. That's why today we have Bentleys, we have the newest iPhones, we have Yeezys, Prada, Gucci, Supreme, all the stuff what we don't need, but we buy. So people can see right away our material status. The same if you go for a business meeting, you work with yourself. Fresh haircut, straight out of the barber shop. Nice suit, expensive watch. This is the same. This is Bentley of 1909. It's a statement about your position in the society. And Art Nouveau buildings, that's why there are more decorations than stories. To be fair, there are some decorations in Riga's Art Nouveau where there is a story, but then it's usually like a pun. There's one building where on top there is a bear because the guy was fond bear. You know, it's a pun. In this time, it wasn't that they was living fond katze or something. It was just a random decoration. And I can explain why Art Nouveau buildings are so suffering from invented stories. If you have been to Tallinn, maybe you have heard the story about the peeping Tom on top, also Art Nouveau building, also invented. Because the thing is, tourism is to blame. You know, if I would come here with you, we just make a stop and I'm like, check out the lovely Art Nouveau, 1909, cool cat on top, beautiful building, let's go, chop chop, we go in that direction. I cannot sell the story. There's nothing interesting in my story, right? You have 2 eyes, you can see on your own. There's a cat and the building is yellow. Okay, you don't know the year, that's the only information you got. So, plus there will be this one smart ass, you know, rubbing the chin and like, why a cat? Why not a dog? Why not octopus? And then the tour guide is sort of a spot in the spotlight. And there's plenty of people who are not willing to say, well, it's a decoration for the, well, decoration is decoration. It's an honest answer, but that's a boring answer. So much fun is about turning the butthole of the cat versus German. That already makes you giggle, right? So this is tourism in a nutshell. Stories for the entertainment, not for the actual, you know, historical truth. And if you're a little bit depressed that you already have bought a big pile of fridge magnets with black cats for your friends and the story is a little bit shaky, it's still okay. It's an element from our architecture. You can easily send a postcard to every friend you have with a black cat because there it is. But about the story, I would be way more skeptical about the story. Because we have no hard evidence that this actually happened. Any questions? Yeah. No, actually. actually know. Yeah. Yeah, precisely. Because there's even a tablet and there it's written, the ghost, artist and year. And that is contemporary art. In 2015 there was happening an art festival called Art in the Public Space. And plenty of artists, they made some installations and sculptures and made the city look more fun. That artist, I read the interview with her, you know, before they are opening a sculpture, there's always the sheet on top. Like that. It's a unopened sculpture. So you can run your imagination wild. But obviously there is tourism. Plenty of times when I'm passing by that sculpture, there is a story about virgin built inside of the wall, a spirit roams the streets and blah blah blah. No, that's art because of art, the same as cat because of cat. Sometimes lack of story can be the story. Let's go. Was opened the first rock club in Soviet Latvia. 83, that's before Mikhail Gorbachev, that's before Soviet Union become more liberal. So how this is possible? It's all amazing locations. Soviet Latvia was the western border of the USSR with a harbor where was coming in plenty of ships from, you know, rotting capitalist countries like Scandinavia. And it's like a law. If you have a closed country and foreign ships are moving in, you will have a black market and contraband. So in Soviet Riga in late 70s, there was half a decent possibility to at least try to illegally purchase, let's say, vinyl of AC/DC. If you own something like that, you are like the coolest guy in the city. It was a super rare thing to have. So the local communists understood that in late 70s, early 80s, in Riga there is forming this like underground alternative music scene. And they wanted to keep a closer eye on the growing metalhead movement. So in 1983, they opened official rock club right there. But it was really disliked by the Soviet police. Soviet militia were not the biggest fans of guys with hair like this, leather jackets and spikes. So the police, they couldn't shut down the place, it's made by the Communist Party. But they set certain regulations. They said there can be rock music concerts, but no more than 40 people. So what's a rock concert for 40 people? It's like musicians performing for themselves, friends, family, and this one guy fixing the wires, and that's pretty much it. So it was a slow start. Until 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev gets the power in the USSR. You know, perestroika started, this more liberalization of the USSR, but it wasn't that the things become legal like that. They were simply not so illegal. It sounds strange, but it was strange. When artists in every event were like pushing the border, what you can afford to do in the public space without getting in trouble. And you were from Russia, right? Do you know Viktor Tsoi? Of course, right? It's a stupid question. Because for Russians, Ukrainians, and Belarusians, there is no difference. You ask a teenager, like 14 years old, or the babushka, 85 years old, everyone knows Viktor Tsoi and his band Kino. For the rest of you, Viktor Tsoi in the Soviet rock scene was like Elvis Presley rock and roll, like Tupac in hip hop, you know, way there on the top. So he was a living legend back in the day. He was doing his concerts mostly in Russia, in Leningrad's rock club. His first concert out of modern day Russia was there. So even Tsoi, really, famous Soviet rock stars were performing here. Until 1991, Soviet Union falls apart. We switched from this, it was far from being communism. It was something like a half-baked corrupted socialism. We jumped into capitalism. And let's go in the old town, almost the main street, in the conditions of aggressive capitalism. They will not give us rock plays. It's not bringing enough profit. So the rock club was closed down, a hotel moved in, then it changed plenty of owners. What's there today? I have no idea, looks a bit sketchy. But in one sentence, Riga's famous rock club, made by communists, destroyed by capitalism. Any questions? No? Then let's go, let's go. What I can say, how survived. Because this is St. Peter's right there behind the tree. Oh. So we start in front, we end at the back, so you know where we are, right? I will end this with a couple of ideas what you can do more in this city. First of all, only today, there is the Canziema market, or the so-called craft market, or we can say that hipster place over the river. So you know there is Old Town, and then there is a bridge with cables, right? Suspension bridge. When you cross it, walk straight some extra 10 minutes and you will find Canziema Market. It's a place where, if you know the webpage Etsy, it's like Etsy in a location. bunch of local designers, local small industries selling their products. Because in Old Town you can buy everything made in China, to be honest, magnets and keychains and all of that. Well, there you can find something actually made here. But that's in every European capital, you know. What you buy in Old Town, it's not local. That's always the thing. So there you can kill 3 birds with the same stone if you hate birds. First of all, there will be these amazing sort of design items, and it's also fashion lines or small liquor companies. It's really everything. Secondly, there will be pop-up restaurants, and thirdly, you are crossing that bridge. Because I'm saying this is one of the